So just from my assessment, just me looking at the video and the assessment right now, this is, I mean, currently nobody really knows the truth besides what we see in the video pictures and things. So there's times they do listen to you. You get with you in the eyes. But besides the video, so we know they have got into altercations at home. So we know that happened. What sparked these altercations, we don't know. Now that's truth. Now, in the midst of all that, so we understand that they have a toxic relationship. Okay. From one party to the next party, we don't know who started. The only thing we can do is speculate and go from one word to another word. So now I think she pulled all these videos out now because she's trying to win a custody battle over the child. Yes, because if she would have put a restraining order, she should have been got a restraining order when the stuff was going down. And Ben,
but
Wayne still made it a woman's fault. Guess it's still bad.
Fault. That's what you. No, it's not. No, it's not. Looking at the situation, I didn't say. I mean, she could have reacted to these things a lot earlier. Why is she doing it now? That's what I'm saying.
What difference does it make?
I'm not neglecting the fact that they have a toxic relationship and this man should not be putting his hands on her. Period.
Maybe,
but at the same time, there's something going on there.
J-Rock, what you got going on?
But y'all can jump on in.
I'm trying to get cozy.
Okay, so to spin off from Mr. Alex, his interpretation of what he just watched, I don't believe that she got a restraining order simply because she's trying to win a custody battle. I believe that she thought she was in control of the situation because I don't believe it's probably something that he does on a daily basis. I've never been in an abusive relationship because I don't play that shit. But however,
you're crazy. That's why.
I know women who do, and I think sometimes hindsight is 2020. I think they can control it. They think they figure out the triggers to avoid the triggers and the abuse minimizers and things of that nature. So I think she kind of went through that phase of it all until she started seeing it escalate into her child. It's where it's beyond her control at that point. So I don't think it has nothing to do with filing a restraining order due to the fact that she can win custody, because she can easily win custody because she makes all the money. So I mean, she was in a winning battle as far as she was in a winning battle as far as custody is concerned. Anyway,
I can
say it again.
You won't know that unless you got you won't know that unless we know the details of what she has and what.
No. When you
wait a minute. From what I understand is both of them make pretty good money.
Oh, do you now?
But both of them make pretty good money. Yeah, from what
she makes a lot more than him. She's more consistently at work than he is. She has more of a positive personality outside. She's a positive face. So even if the money wasn't the factor, they was going to give it to Keke anyways. Her public opinion was going to win her custody irregardless. If it's about custody, because that is just
the system is built for that. The system is built for women. That's what it is. It's not. It don't have nothing to do with our public perception.
Whoa, Tabby, look at that. We finally get something, huh?
Listen, at the end of the day, no matter if she was building a custody case, no matter if she was just now getting a restraining order, that does not excuse what he did to her. That does not excuse him putting his hands on. That does not excuse him putting her hands or him being violent towards their child. It doesn't matter when she decided to
take action.
It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, he couldn't control himself, and he put his hands on her. You don't see no pictures of her putting hands on him. Even with the Usher incident. So now we find out that she's single during this Usher incident. She's not in a relationship. So once we find that out, it's like, What is he really doing? Are you just upset because she has more limelight than you? Are you upset because she's about to take your whole world away because of your actions? Like, it doesn't excuse it, no matter when she decides to take action.
All I would say, I'm not giving no excuse to him putting his hands on me. That's a fact. I don't condone that, and I never will. But as far as the context outside, I'm gonna speak on it. So you might not like it, but that's what I got. Oh, what you got, Jay?
So I don't like it because we don't know all the details. I mean, and I'm saying, you're right. If he put her hands on her, he shouldn't at all. But there's a chance. There's a times when you put in predicaments, and they ugly predicaments where a woman. I've seen a million women because I guess I'm a woman beater. I'll have to admit, because if somebody slapped me, punched me in the face, hit me with a bat, I got to defend myself. If it's a woman, if it's whoever. But yet, as soon as I touch them back, guess what? Oh my God, the world blows up. And let me tell you, what I always try to do is you got to have restraint. So, but we don't know all the details, right? I just don't. We don't know all of it, and I'm so tired of this N-word narcissist. Everybody throw that out to me. I just got called that today, from my kid's mother, and it shocked me. I was appalled. I said, "What the? What?" So, I mean,
No, go
it's
ahead, J
just.
Rock.
I'm just saying, I don't know all the details, and true enough, if he put his hands on her, I have to know the details, because I feel like you can always get away, you can always restrain her, and there's really no reason to put your hands on her. But I can tell you this, and
Alex,
yep.
we should get that. We should get that little dunk sound. That don't, like when somebody say some crazy shit, you be like, "Don't."
Oh, because I'm gonna tell
Because
you this,
that
I
it
just
would have went
I
there
can't
and
let
played there.
nobody just put their hands on me. Let me get on the child too, right?
There's a difference between domestic abuse and defending yourself. Like domestic abuse is inside the home with somebody that you love, like not just some random person on the street attacking you. This is like
No,
it's,
that's
it's
not
I
what he's
had a
different.
saying. That's
girl
not what
that
he's saying.
loved
He's talking
me.
about in the house.
I had a girl
House.
who loved me and,
He's
and
talking about in
slapped
the
the
house,
shit out of
Kev.
me and punched me in the face because
That
I
once
didn't
y'all
hold
tell
the
us
door.
leave, right? Leave,
Right. But when you
leave.
walking out the door,
Okay,
somebody
I'm
punch you,
gonna
keep punching
piggyback
you in
off
the
J
head,
Rock.
you gonna push the shit out of them. I'll push the shit out of a motherfucker. Let they will.
I got two sons. I got two of them, and I'm all for restraint, but I'm all for hitting those who hit you. Man, woman, child, dog, rat, cat. I really truly don't care. Don't put your hands on my sons, because they're gonna hit you back. And they're gonna hit you back advocated by the mother. Because for one, these women are aggressive.
Yeah,
And I'm not
abusive.
saying that Kiki didn't hit him. That's by no means. That's not what I'm saying. I just feel like whatever the situation may be, in the details that we don't learn, if she hit him, she deserved to got hit back. And I don't care what nobody say. They can eat me up
I
for
don't
that
teach.
as
I
a
don't teach
woman.
my boys that. I teach my boys
Well,
restrain,
then
restrain them,
okay,
restrain them,
that's all well and
restrain
fine.
them.
I respect everybody parenting,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
that treating, teaching your boys to think that they can always walk away. Sometimes they don't have that opportunity. Sometimes even just blocking it or raising it or grabbing the hand. I ain't necessarily saying you got to knock them out. That's not what I'm necessarily saying. But that would be that'll be the reason why one of these emotional, over emotional women kill one of your kids.
Nah,
If you don't,
I teach my kids what to look for in a woman first.
that's all well and fine. But kids grow up to do what they want to do.
Firsthand.
Oh,
I'm not.
but how can you
I
find
teach
that?
my kids what to
Kids
look for
grow
in a
up to
woman.
do what they want to do. Kids
But
grow up to find interest
that's
in
What
people
you
that
teach
you
your
teach
kids
them to
will
stay
always be
far away
instilled in your
from.
kids. What you teach your kids will always be instilled in your kids, no
hold,
matter what. I done
but
did some crazy
I
things in
agree
my
with
life.
that. I
But one
100%
thing
agree with
I'm
that.
not gonna do, one thing I'm
Tabby,
not gonna,
but
I'm gonna teach my kids to my two sons to restrain a woman. I'm not gonna tell them to walk away. I'm not gonna tell them to keep letting them hit them. And then I'm a woman that I role
oh,
model as a woman that I would want my kids to
Tabby,
date and do anything with.
Tabby, teach
I
me something
respect
really
this,
quick.
sweetie. It's just a
Wait a
no for
minute. Wait,
mine.
wait. I just want to be taught what's the description. Tell me the woman that you know that beats up men. Tell me the description to her so that I can write this down and I can know not to look out for them type of women. Tell me that description.
I know you ain't never gonna. It's not ever gonna be an off bad
That's
thing.
right.
That's the one you have to have conversations with a person and pick their mind to understand what kind of person they are. You have
Well,
like
having a conversation with a person that's
yeah,
y'all
and
in the
that's what
midst of a
dating is
conversation,
for.
and having a conversation with somebody that when they feel like they wronged you or you breach trust and she's hyper emotional and that ain't the same conversation. Them ain't the same two people either. They're the same person,
after the
but
first
the
incident, they
Right,
action.
should be
right.
gone. Like I said, I'm not gonna teach
So
my son to beat up no
I
woman. I'm not
understand.
gonna
I
teach
get
my
it.
son to strike no woman. I teach my
I,
son to restrain a woman and
I'm
then
not
go about
saying
them
beat her
business.
down. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying whoop her like a nigga. All I'm saying is
Mm-mm.
if you put your hands on them, you gonna
See,
get one or two
I've
results.
been in an abusive relationship.
So
I've been in an abusive relationship where and I'm not an aggressor. So like I'm not gonna teach my sons that. I'm not gonna sit there and be like, oh yeah, if
don't
she hit me, then
listen.
beat the fuck out of them. No, I'm not. I'm not gonna
Digital
do that.
Underground said it best. You hit me and I hit you back.
And we gonna agree to disagree.
Man, y'all gotta
Yeah,
man,
like I
And
say,
I don't
these
even go
I'm
grown
that
not
ass women out
saying
far.
here.
your way is incorrect. I'm
I'm
not
not
saying
saying
that.
your way is incorrect either. We just have two different opinions. That's it.
And, and look, I'm
Yeah.
not even
So
saying that,
Y'all,
but
y'all,
I know I've been trying to
y'all
go to the
gotta
door and
think
got
what provoke a man to do that.
a 4-piece combo.
You say what?
some of them had them. Some
Y'all
of them
gotta
were abused
understand
as a kid their
sometimes.
own self. Some men just really fail to mature emotionally, and they think that throwing tantrums and
Right,
throwing things
right,
and hitting things and raising and yelling, they just don't mature out of that shit. And we as women,
right, right.
we get the brunt of it because they feel like, oh well, you chose him, well, you love him, and sometimes and easier said than done. Just leave when it happens. That's easier said than done sometimes,
That's easy.
especially if you
That's
are in a
easy.
predicament to where this particular guy and most guys who have that. I ain't gonna say they control their woman, but they don't want their woman to work and she's solely in the house. They're the most abusive. They're the most abusive because they control everything. So what's the really likelihood where she can just hop up and haul ass when she's
I mean,
not monetarily stable
I won't tell you.
sometimes in those particular.
Yeah, I won't even put it on just because a guy have I say this person is a housewife. No, I would say I think it's all the way across the board. Whether they do
Well,
50-50
I'm just pointing out one
or
particular personality trait, like certain men that I
right,
noticed that are like
right,
that are more like that than the
right, right.
ones that where the household is shared
Listen,
between the woman and the man
right. So I know
financially.
guys. I know guys that are abusive. I know guys that
Me
are
too.
abusive. So some of those guys, that's just the way they are. You just got to know that. And there's some guys that have to get pushed to that. You know what I'm saying? So there's
I
guys
agree to
that
that
do it,
too.
and there's guys that get pushed to that. You know what I'm saying? So
I
you gotta
I do
you
get
gotta have
that.
this, you have to have discernment on both of those. You know what I'm saying? And it don't matter where they come from, as far as what kind of relationship background it is. It doesn't really matter.
Well, it
It's just
does
not
matter where
about the
they come
man,
from
the
because if they
person.
were abused as a child, if they seen their daddy
I mean,
do it, if
I
they're
I
don't think
mean,
that's
around
true.
dudes,
I don't think
I'm
that's
not
true
in that way. I'm not talking
because
who
about
me?
in that way. I'm talking about
yeah, I don't think
their
it's
relationship
because of
status,
how
whether
you raised.
a
Yeah.
woman works or whether your woman don't work. That's what I'm talking about.
Not raised what you're exposed to. So if you live in a household where your daddy beat your mama, sometimes you think you grow up and you never realize that's not okay.
Well,
And
I
you
didn't
get in
grow up
your
in a home.
relationship.
I didn't grow up in a
Well, you
Sometimes,
home.
say you weren't the aggressor though. We talking
sometimes
about
that
the
same son,
aggressor. You
No,
were
I'm talking about
listen,
I'm talking
sometimes
about
that
I've
same
never been in a
son
home where
grew up and whooped
anybody
his
was
dad
aggressive,
ass
where
because he didn't like
anybody
that.
was abused. It should I didn't feel like and I still felt like it was okay. I still felt like that was a form of love. So I don't think it's because sometimes it's because of how you was raised or if you had a
No,
two-parent household. I think it's because
I don't know
of
where y'all.
of
I don't know where that come from.
yeah, I think it's
Man,
I
because
didn't say it
of
came
how
from
you
a
are
two parent household.
emotionally
That's
as a
not what I
person.
said. Y'all misinterpreted what I was
Listen,
saying.
no, I'm
But
gonna say
carry
this.
on.
But those guys normally, it's not just let's say they do come from an abusive home. Some of those guys go against that. They don't like that. They don't
Don't
like
go
it,
against
and
that.
they sometimes they end up
I said
they
that.
actually kill their
He
parents.
did say
There's
that.
cases
He
like
did
that.
say that.
They have killed their
I
parents
said that.
because of that. So
I
that's
said
not, you
that.
can't say that's always the case. You can't say
I never
it's
said
always the
that.
case. But some people don't like
I
it at
never once
all.
said that.
Whether you
I never
agree with it or
said that.
not.
I
You know
never
what I'm
said that was
saying?
always the case.
But you never said that, but you insinuated in that way, and you never talked about the
No,
other side of
I
that
did
coin.
not. No, I did not. No, I did not. What I specified was certain exposure, and I explained two sides of each of that coin. Kids who outgrow that and think that's wrong, and kids who never outgrow it, and they move and transition into their adulthood and their relationships is what I said.
I
But
took
the
a
fact
different
is,
interpretation
since you
than Alex
clarified,
did,
yeah. The fact is that it all depends on the person whether they came from it or not. People that haven't came from those situations still abusive. So it don't really. Sometimes it doesn't matter.
And then I specifically said about that they don't be emotionally immature. They throw tantrums. They holler. They don't know how to communicate well. They don't know how to address situations verbally without getting in their feelings. When a lot of times it's not really about how you feel about it. It's about getting a solution. I think as adults, whether you're women or men, sometimes we don't have conflict resolution skills. And they think every time you have a disagreement, it has to be a conflict. It's not. Sometimes it just can be a mature conversation, and we can talk about it, and we can have a conversation about it, come to a solution. And a lot of things too, people don't make solutions. Y'all argue, and you stop talking about it. It's never resolved. So now you arguing again. Now this argument is a couple with all the arguments before. You never had resolution from the last one, and the last one before that, and the last one before that.
I would just add on to that, Tiana. Sometimes they have a resolution, but that person's still angry about it. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's the woman or the female or the male, they still be mad about it. Let's say you resolve the situation, but you said that you resolved it to each other, but in the side, that person is still angry and holding anger and holding a grudge. That stuff happens. People hold grudges on many different things.
There's a various amount of things that just happen when we having these conversations. But when we speak on women and we say things happen, it's that's not the case. It's when it's women doing something wrong, it's definitive. When you got this video here, now he got all these possibilities about what could have possibly transpired, which is hogwash.
Right.
You know what? You know why? You know why? Because of the climate. If you understand climate, then you understand this is what's going on within the climate.
So then climate changes.
What climate is? It's always climate. No, listen, the climate doesn't change very much. Weather change, but climate don't. Climate, if it's hot, and it's always hot in this region, it's always hot in this region. It's the climate that's creating this. That's why we're speaking this way about it.
Let's go with me. I mean, like I say, if the situation is she hit him first, I'm all for her being hit back. Period. I ain't saying he's supposed to drag her across the floor or none of that. And if the situation is where he's just immature, he's childish, and he think he's just gonna get his way by snatching her up and dragging her across the living room. No, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that whatsoever. But I 100% agree with if you hit me, you should be expecting or have a possibility that you may get hit back sometimes. I think that's a reasonable expectation if you are abusive. I think a woman or a man, I feel like if you are abusive, then you should have the expectation that this motherfucker may hit you back sometimes.
Right.
So that's just my take on abuse. And coming from somebody who swing first, I totally expect you to swing back. I'm really surprised if you don't. And not because I want to be abused. I just think that's a fair fight.
Oh yeah, constantly like an eye on me, waiting for me to make a move on you. I'm trying to catch my future lady.